What would you say is in general terms, the importance of a storyboard in your way of creating films?
I think it works on two levels. It's first, when we're writing the thing, when I sit down and try to imagine the film, I start drawing it. And lots of new ideas come out of the very business of drawing, just by drawing it and seeing and making compositions. And, that's an idea. And things start growing, so that we start changing the script as I'm storyboarding the thing. And then when we start shooting, it's the one thing that I can lock onto, because I usually go crazy when I'm shooting and trying to remember this, trying to remember that. With a storyboard, I know I've got to get those shots, boom, 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 there's all of these. And so I can shoot out of sequence, I can leap all around the place, which drives the crew crazy sometimes. I mean, in Time Bandits, the battle at the end with the forces of evil against the Time Bandits, constantly special effects weren't working, and I'd have to suddenly change and say, okay, forget about shooting the tank, let's go and shoot this. And because I had it all storyboarded, I could say, okay, we'll do that shot. And you're looking left to right, there's this happening, I do it and then cross it off. And I knew by going through it and crossing each one off that I was getting the sequence. And the crew said, you're crazy, I mean, this is never going to cut together. And I said, of course it'll cut together. And put it down, and it all went together, and they were amazed. And the original idea was, we were starting on all this miniature solar system, 18th century, clicking away, and then the Earth came towards us and blew up, and then there was a mouth of a cannon. But what's actually in the film, it's like they've got a cannon firing, it says second unit, so I know, okay, it's going to go to Michele Suave. This is the opening sequence, and then we shot, somebody's blowing up their face, cannon, boom, bang. And you shoot all that, and then afterwards you can edit it any way you want, because you don't have to be stuck to it. And then this is the opening shot of pulling back from the city, back to the camp. Now that's basically the shot we've got. Now, I did that very early on. All we'd found was the bay. And I do that, and there's the tents. Everything's there. Nothing has really changed. We had a whole opening sequence with Turks eating food and throwing it up to a seagull. But that's out of the film. There's a man start falling horse's head. And we come up to the statue in the square. There used to be people hanging. All of that's out there in the background somewhere. But it's sort of detail that gets built into the film that doesn't become foreground detail. But the idea was that we panned down to the poster saying Adventures of Baron Munchausen. Now, in the original storyboard, it's at the base of these gallows. I changed all that and just stuck it on the base of the statue. It seemed a nice idea that this heroic statue had been completely covered with bureaucratic posters and rules and regulations. And in the midst of all of that is this poster. So that was something that grew out of the statue. The film's sort of in my head. It's like I close my eyes, I can see the film, so I just start drawing that. It's going on, and that's the way it starts happening. And it's trying to imagine the film. So I've seen the film before we make it. And the storyboard is just taking this imaginary image that's in my head and getting it on paper. My sketches on the storyboards get less and less definite as I do it now. And they're very crude and very fast because I don't want to become too specific. I want to have enough information that I can understand it and hopefully others in the crew can understand it. Because oftentimes we put a big board up on the set, with the storyboard for what we're shooting that day, so people can walk by and look and say, that's what is going on. And that helps sometimes, again, to communicate to people what it is we're doing that day.
Is it always shot by shot? I mean...
Yeah, it tends to be. And, I'll do, a frame, there's that happening, and then we pan to that frame. And I draw a little arrow saying we pan, or we do a pullback. And so when we do pullbacks, I do, close-up, mid, and wide shots, so you get a sense of the camera movement. When we actually get shooting, it does become much more flexible. I mean, I've got a shot of 3 people standing there, and we're doing the scene. Something's nicer to have them moving. So okay, I change it. They're moving, but I still know I need a shot of the 3 people. That's the main thing. sometimes the dangerous thing is sometimes I get too rigid about it and rely on the storyboard rather than on the scene that's taking place in front of us. And that's the danger of it. You can, if you're getting nervous or insecure, you can hide behind the storyboard too often. As I do the storyboard, as I continue through the film, by the end, it's just little squiggles because I've gotten bored or run out of time. I mean, like the Munchausen storyboard is very much like that. The first part of the film is very, very carefully drawn, and then as it goes on, they're just just scratches because I was running out of time. I had to start working, and it's dangerous because sometimes I was just enjoying drawing these things, and so they're making illustrations rather than a storyboard. But sequences like, say, in Munchausen, the opening with the statue and with the head of the horse, that came out of drawing something. I actually started drawing an equestrian statue. Oh, this looks better without the head on. And once you've got the idea, the head's off the statue, then let's have the head on the floor, and it's got to be a big head, and people are living in the head. So that's something that came out of a drawing, and the first drawing was that of a headless horse, a headless statue with the baron's head gone and the horse's head gone.